Alright, so I'm doing my little walk before it gets too hot today. Don't know what I'm going to talk about, if anything. I'm just thinking about it. I think I'm going to change my sleep hours. Go to sleep at 9, get up at 4 in the morning. Something like that, maybe. I don't know. I really believe that when you go into a battle with a Jezebel spirit, that it's a war. It's a war that you can't lose. I mean, you got to win. There's no choice but to win, And I don't care what you have to do to win. You've got to win, and you've got to break that bond. You got to break that stronghold, bond, cord, whatever you want to call it. There's such an illusion being built around you that you don't want to believe it. You don't want to believe somebody's pure evil. They actually think the weird thing is they think they're doing right. That's the weird thing. Either that or they're just trying to convince you that they think that way. If they really believe what they're doing is right, then it is an upside down world. This one Jezebel, I reverse engineered what her game was. She wanted different people in her world for different things. This one took care of this for her, and this one took care of this, and this one took care of this. She had like 5 different people that took care of different things, And when I saw that, I thought, I gotta get away from this. This is ridiculous. Instead of them, and she was like a chronic drinker. She could drink like crazy. I don't even know how I got pulled into that, because I didn't think, to look at the person, you wouldn't think she'd pick up a wine cooler or anything. You would think she wasn't even you would think she was like the holy woman. There's a lot of manipulation going on out there. Instead of them working, they want somebody to do it for them, It really comes down to that. I really believe that. Instead of them having to sacrifice and work, they think they have deserve the best, and they want people doing it for them. Whatever it is. In other words, they want to vampire off of your energy and somebody else's energy and somebody else's energy and somebody else's energy. Off your gifts and talents and time and energy and fake love, because you're actually, the Jezebel image that was put out there wasn't real love. You were in love with a fake person. That person never existed. Seriously. And to come to terms with that the person that you were facing off with never existed, that's a hard pill to swallow. But once you do swallow it, you're like, oh, okay. It was just an act. It was a show. Like watching a movie. You can watch an actor in a movie, right? It's kind of like this. You watch this actress in a movie, and she's such a good actress. She actually believed. One of them said one time the way they become such a good actress is she believes she believes that's her in that role. And so the movie's over. It could be a TV series. Let's say it's a TV series. And you identify with that person and that character, and that's why I cut TV off and music and everything, because it's all fake reality. You identify with that character like you know that character. And then you'll see them do an interview on one of the talk shows, and they're totally different than the character. So if you saw the Jezebel out with somebody else, they would be acting different around those other people than they acted around you. You wouldn't even know the person. You might even wave to them and they wouldn't even acknowledge you or something. They live multiple lives. And when I recognized that, when I came to that conclusion that they're not the same, they're not genuine with everybody, they're not the same everywhere they go. When you come to that conclusion, I came to that conclusion a long time ago. Even when I was younger, I saw a family member, they would change depending on who was around, you know. Whoever they were around, they would change for that person. And I mainly saw this in women. You didn't see that. The men seemed to just be the same. But the women would shapeshift to whoever was in the room with them. And I thought, this is not right. What in the world? And I thought, this is a family member. I should have been able, that family member, I thought, I can't trust this person. They change with whoever they're with. Just like somebody's going to be your friend, you know, they're your friend, and then somebody else comes around and they're not your friend, or they don't want to talk to you. That's the way it works, you know, because they have that image they got to put up to keep that, stay in that group or that job or whatever. It's kind of like if you're talking to somebody with conspiracy, you know, you got somebody walking beside you here talking about conspiracies and all that, and then you go somewhere else, and you both know that that person doesn't talk about conspiracies, and so you don't talk about it. But if you do mention it just a little bit, like if they bring it up and you say a little bit, and the person that was talking about it, they just zip their lip and they don't talk about it, even though the other person brought it up, because it's all about outward show and image and people pleasing and all that stuff. There is a time and a place for talking about conspiracy theories, for sure, and different things, but I learned a new term recently. I didn't even know what that term meant. It's ride or die, you know. You either ride or die. Sounds like a criminal term to me. And I think I looked it up, and I think it was about criminals, but I don't remember. But when you start hearing criminology terms, you know, criminal mindset terms, it's not a coincidence. There's no coinky dinks in this world. Like, why is this dude standing out in the middle of the road, you know? Makes no sense why somebody be standing out in the middle of the road. So certain behavior is a red flag, you know. Certain words, certain phrases, certain terminology, certain patterns. If they shapeshift, they change their personality with whoever they're with, and they just change to become a different person with whoever they're with. I mean, there's just too many red flags, you know. It's all about image and outward show, and they're just not talking on a basic human decency level. They're not talking on a basic human decent level. You can tell they're low vibration, they're in the flesh mind, not in the spirit walk. Life is a trip, to be honest with you. Morning. Here's the biggest thing I've learned about Jezebel through the years. You're an individual, right? The narcissist Jezebel, right? You're an individual. And you're going to be who you are. And I don't know if they've tricked people in the past where that person gives up their identity. But, so you're going about your business. Let's say you and Jezebel live in that house right there. And you go over here and talk to the neighbor and do this. And they say, they'll say something not in a way that's recognizable, but it's like little hints. Why are you doing that? Why don't you just stay here in the morning or do this? Why are you walking around the block? What's going on? Try to change your visions and your goals and your dreams and even your exercise program, if you want to call it that. Spiritual exercise. Why are you uploading videos? Why are you communicating with those people online? Why are you doing what you're doing? Focus on this instead. While you were doing that, you could have been mowing the yard. Stupid stuff like that. And you're like, woman, I have a free will. And not you, not the devil, not your demons, not your flying monkeys are going to take away my free will. Period. If God's calling me to do something, I'm going to do it. Hell or high water. You can poison me. You can attack me, defame me, lie about me. If it's God's will and He called you to do it, you're going to do it. That's how bad it is. They want you to do their will instead of God's will. They want to take away your free will. They think they can do that. And it always crashes and burns because even God doesn't take away your free will. But the narcissistic Jezebel psychopath really thinks they can manipulate your free will. Now that is the sickest of the sickest. That is the most insane of the insane. If you love me, you'll do this. How about you just be your person, I'll be my person, and if the two match up, fine. If they don't mesh together, if you don't understand how this thing works, then it won't work. You can't force somebody to do the love language the way you want it to be done. If you want to call it that. Try to come up with some kind of... I was trying to come up with a way to explain it, but it's like they want you to be... I'm not the only one exercising over here. They want you to be doing things the way they want it done. Even your emotions. Not only in the physical. They want it done their way in the physical, but mental, emotional, psychological. They want to retrain your brain. And you're like, that'll never happen. But they keep trying. Because they're control freaks. They're psychopathic control freaks. They actually want to change the way you talk, the way you dress, everything about you. And you're like, I don't know if that's ever happened before with your past people, but it ain't gonna happen here. Now if you pay me full-time wages, I'll put the uniform on, I'll dress like that, and I'll come in and I'll say, sir, yes, sir, or sir, or ma'am, yeah, ma'am, yes, ma'am. You want to pay me 40-hour week job salary? I'll say, ma'am, yes, ma'am. Like in the Coast Guard, you'd say, sir, yes, sir. In the boot camp, you know. So it's actually like a brainwashing thing. And if you really step back from it, and they have to, just like in boot camp, it's like 3 months. They have to really try to indoctrinate you into their ways the first 3 months, because it's the love bombing, the gaslighting, the future faking, the fake reality bubble, WandaVision. So when people started waking up in the WandaVision bubble, she would have to go there and manage that person like a handler, you know. They're starting to wake up. Well, they got to manage them and be the handler, right? So when somebody's leaving their bubble, the Jezebel bubble, they have to go manage this one. And then they put time on this one. And then this other one's leaving the bubble, so they put time on this one. And then they do the fighting and the arguing to make it, try to revert reality that you're the problem. And so while they're over here handling this one that's getting ready to leave the bubble, you're over here by yourself, scratching your head, thinking, what's going on? And then they see that you break free, and then they come manage you. And then this other one over here, this third party over here, they're managing that one. So they're trying to manage all these people in that fake reality bubble where they want everybody to be as they're the handler, right? And they really are trying to do that. And they're probably doing it on the job too. They probably have a job where they're doing the same thing. And all the handlers out there are doing this because they think they have a right to insert themselves into your world and control you as a handler, whether they're Freemasons, Wiccans, Jesuits, some cult, some ism, just a Jezebel queen bee who has her little network. They're all handlers. And their handlers want to be. And so, because they're looking at life and they see how rough it is, or they have this goal that they're trying to achieve. They might be saving money. They might be getting, like if they want to go out, they might have one person where they go out every Friday night to eat, or every Thursday and Saturday to eat, or whatever. They might have another one that comes over there and mows their yard. They might have another one that comes over there, and so it's just like a harem, but in reverse, especially with the Jezebel. So it's like, have you lost your mind? You don't think we see through you? And the whole time, and it's just like that music video, Katy Perry, she's sitting up there on the throne, and the dog comes up and has his tongue out licking this, So, and she has all those people serving her on her throne, And you're like, that is the music video is actually the way these people want to live. Instead of trusting God, they're trying to create their own little network and be God. And it's so bizarro land that it's so hard to believe that these people exist. But you've seen it your whole life, even growing up. Like I say, you saw a family member changing who they are depending on who's there. Anyway, because they're not loyal to one person, those people are not loyal to her. Eventually it all crashes and burns, and she's over there by herself. She thought she could fool these people, but it's the same game playing out all over the place. So once you've seen one Jezebel, you've seen them all. And so they're like the Katy Perry music video where she's sitting up on the throne and there's this red carpet going up and all these people standing around worshiping her, I forget the name of the song. But I think it's like, you want to play with fire? Something like that in the lyrics. You want to play with fire? That's the deal right there, people. If you watch the Katy Perry music video, that's the Jezebel spirit. And a lot of these singers are the harlot riding the beast. They're actually telling you in the music videos what's going on. And you don't want to believe it because these people are such good actors or actresses that she can change and shapeshift who she needs to be depending on who she's around. And she's creating this little bubble that's not even real. And then when you start to escape and you see through the bubble and you see through the lies and you see through the fake love, the fake help, the fake flipping the Bible or whatever, and you start to escape it and you step out of it, you say, son, no, this ain't right. So then, if the begging and the pleading, please, please, then when you finally say, nah, I see what's going on, then they start to curse you and call you names. And the real person shows up. The mask finally cracks and that mean-sided person starts to appear. And they're trying to provoke you because the people that the flying monkeys that were not really the network of flying monkeys, that the certain ones that you were around, because she's got different networks going on at one time, but the ones that she pulled you into, and you're leaving, so she has to make you look bad. So she's going to start cursing and screaming and threatening and all that to try to get you mad so that you say something in response so that she can badmouth you. And even if you don't do anything wrong, she's gonna make stuff up and say, "Oh, they're abusive," when they were the one abusive. If somebody comes at you right with a knife, you're gonna take them down and grab their hand, take the knife out of them, throw them down on the ground, right? Well, that's what they do. They come at you with a torrent, like a wave of water, with a torrent of water just coming at you. And you're just like, I've seen this game before. I'm not going to respond. I'm just going to walk away. And when you walk away, they couldn't get you into their tennis court flesh mine volley back and forth. So they couldn't get you in the volley and the flesh mine. So you just walk away because you just say, I'm going back to the spirit walk. This is not what I thought it was. So then they have to make up stuff about you and lie about you and all that. So what's the conclusion of the matter? As soon as you cut it off for the last time, it usually takes about 3 different cycles, because they do the same cycle, because they want to come back and love bomb. Then they want to come back, love bomb. Then the 3rd time they say, well, let's just reboot. Let's just restart this whole thing. And you're like, so you want to just forget all the evil you did. You don't want to be held accountable. You don't want to admit you're wrong. You're not even willing to go to a mediator or a counselor and look and hear both sides, because you're so ingrained in the lie that you created, the multiple lies, multiple people. You're so ingrained in that lie that you're not willing to go to a third party counselor, mediator, to let them tell you that you're doing wrong. And so they disappear. Because when you hold up biblical principles, because it says, if you have a problem with somebody, bring in another witness. If there's a problem, bring a witness in and throw it all out on the table. But they don't want to throw it all on the table because they got to look at themselves, and the jig is up. And so when the other party bring in another witness, the other party says, nah, what you're saying is wrong, the way you're acting is wrong. And this is why it's important to take notes, because they will try to come back. And people say they always come back. You know, they might come back in 2 weeks, 2 months, 6 months, a year. Actually, I did have one come back after 2 years. But if you grow on the inside spiritually so much that even if they do come back, they're wasting their time. I'm gonna clean out those gutters real quick. Then I'm gonna go take a shower and go get me some breakfast. By me walking and talking, even if I don't upload this, it's a healing thing, because it just reinforces what I know to be true, and what I've seen in the past, what I've seen in the bloodline and the culture and the music videos. They're all telling you what they're doing. They're all telling you this, what's going on. It's obvious what's going on. And they really think that they have no idea that they have no idea that you've seen the game before. And you've overcome the game. And you always win because God reveals the game to you. Because you're in truth, they're in lies, and truth always destroys the lies. And that, I don't know if I'm gonna upload the video, but that lady over there was shaking her behind in front of the kids last night. She's out there still doing it again with no music, wanting to be seen. These people are so fleshly and temporal and selfish. Cursing. You can hear her cursing in front of the kids right now. So the way they talk and the way they shapeshift in front of other people, they don't walk by faith. That's why they need the people and impress people, because there's no walking by faith. They're walking by their own power,